Welcome to Canada Field in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tonight, it is the 3-1 DC Dragons against the 3-1 Vancouver Legion right here on the Virtual Football Network. It's the Monday Night Spectacular, Week 6 of Season 26. Good evening, everyone, alongside J.W. Doyle, Eddie Gage, Ron Haynes assisting in the stat truck, Charles Doherty. I'm Cameron Irvine. Our full crew is here to watch two of the best teams in the SFL square off for the second time in 2 years, but only for the fifth time in the last 10 seasons. Charles, good evening. We should have a good one tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got two powerhouses. Another good matchup for Monday Night Madness. Vancouver is licking the wounds from a loss to Albuquerque last week, and if I was DC, I would not want to be in a situation of playing Vancouver on the road and after a loss. I think they're going to have to be firing all cylinders and have a near perfect game to pull this one off.
We'll see the coin toss here. Vancouver's going to get the football, and I agree with you, Charles. Playing Vancouver off a loss, not in a position that I would want to be if I was DC. Last season, Vancouver was 3-0 following a loss. The last time that they lost 2 games straight was a while ago, way back in season 23. The ball is kicked. We are underway from the 2-yard line. The Legion on the return up past the 20 to the 29, and that's where things get started for Vancouver. Their quarterback is Christian Brown.
Yeah, we were talking before the game about some bingo numbers, Cam. Obviously, we got the Cards tonight, vertical wins, but neither of these teams have fumbled this season, so that's one extra bingo number. And then the other one is we're waiting, I think, for Brett Killian's first touchdown pass. Am I right?
First touchdown pass? My goodness.
Reception.
Oh, okay. Yes. I was going to say, now if that you got that on your bingo card, that would really be a Monday Night Spectacular.
That's the other one.
First and 10 as Christian Brown will hand the ball off, a pickup of 1 yard, and that was Jalen Wells, I believe, on the carry. Doyle is also in the backfield along with Devin Lloyd. The wide receivers, Nick Lockett, D'Angelo Lopez, Brett Killian, and Ezekiel Bear. The tight end is John Michael Suddeth. We'll get to the line momentarily. A second down and 9 as Brown will drop the throw, and Christian Brown goes over the middle. That pass is incomplete. Third down coming up on the deflection was Jadooby-Doo.
I love watching every week what this Vancouver offense does. I mean, they're so great at mixing things up. I mean, even if it's the same formation from week to week, they always mix up who's playing what in the formation. So, got to be on your A game if you're a defensive coordinator.
3rd and 9, solid start for DC's defense thus far. A rollout from Brown to the left, firing. That pass is caught. First down to the 44, hauled in by Nick Lockett. Vancouver's been a third down machine this year on both sides of the ball.
And that offensive line just set up the quarterback perfect on that rollout. They've got loaded on the offensive line between Winnell, Burks, Turner, Bleeker, and Moody. And they have given up a little bit more sacks than I would expect at this point of the season. But, man, on that last play, they are look like they're firing on all cylinders.
Toss out to, that is the backup halfback Landon Tofield, as they only have Lloyd on the roster. Gary Clem made that excellent tackle on 3rd down, by the way. He's a part of the secondary for the Dragons that includes Dew, Terrence Pearson, Ricky Robinson, Peanut Say, and Will Stern. On the line, Gary Burney, John Gary, Seth Harrison, Mike Wagner, and Jose Fuentes. Linebackers momentarily. Brown's got a wide open Killian. There he goes, Charles. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Vancouver, and BK12 is finally in the end zone.
And that's one magic bingo number for the night. He was so wide open, got past that. The coverage, it was number 41, Gary Clem, the free safety, just blew right by Clem and was wide open. Nice read by the quarterback Christian Brown as well. And we're looking at 6-0.
That's a 50-pluser off your bingo cards to start the night. That one goes for 54 yards per our stat superstar Eddie Gage in the truck. It is 7-0. Vancouver on top of DC, and a fast start for the Legion offense, who got themselves out of a hole on 3rd and long early in the drive.
Yeah, and you can't go away from this possession without giving credit to that offensive line. I know it's early in the game, but they are really holding their own.
So if you're new to bingo, a little over 300,000 is available tonight, and we have our first two numbers on the board.
50 plus and 7.
Charles hoping that his night is that smooth, calling bingo nut. Last week got a little crazy. We had a lot to get to in a wild finish. See what DC has to offer on their first play of offense. Shabazz Senergy dropping to throw. He will fire it short and throws a pick. And then there's a flag and a fumble recovered by Vancouver. A face mask, I believe, is going to be called on DC. So DC throws a pick, gets called for a face mask, forces a fumble, and doesn't even get the ball back then. Vancouver gets the ball on the DC 11. The Legion are best in the league in average field position, and it's because of plays like that.
That was the most action I've seen in one play this season. I mean, incredible. And great defense. Started off with the pressure up front and forced the quarterback to make a bad decision, and the defense for Vancouver made him pay for it.
The handoff to start the drive. Devin Lloyd refuses to go down, but Gary Clem, who gave up the touchdown, makes the stop. Interestingly enough, they gave him 2 on that play. It looked like a no-gainer.
This is a big challenge here, big test for this DC defense. Got to keep it at least to a field goal here.
Brown straight back. He had a quick pressure, but he dumps it off for a touchdown to J.W. Doyle, who's doubling up tonight and getting in the end zone as well. 13
bingo,
zip.
magic bingo number, first reception, touchdown for Vancouver.
Oh, now you're just confusing people. Charles and I talking pregame about magic bingos and a halfback getting a reception touchdown. No, that is not on anyone's cards. You always got to...
It was his first reception of the year as well, I believe.
Which is wild. I mean, a great start for Vancouver, really mixing it up on the DC Dragons, and they are off to an extremely hot start. Bad news for the Dragons.
This has been a wild game so early. Just like everything we talked about in pregame is starting to come true on the field. No
kidding. 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the ball game. Vancouver averages their own 34-yard line, best in the league. And when you're getting turnovers like that on the first play of the game, Charles, I mean, it's just easy work for your offense.
Yeah, we also talked about DC having a 103 kick return for a touchdown.
That's not... We didn't talk about that. But, it's fumbled. It's picked up by Vancouver on the ensuing kickoff return. When it rains, it pours.
This is insane. All the chips are falling in Vancouver's favor tonight, and that defense for Vancouver is just fired up, and special teams as well for the home crowd.
Larry Atkins forcing the fumble, and what a nightmare for the DC Dragons here to start the football game. So now Brown hands it off. Devin Lloyd shoving a defender to the ground and picking up 9.
That was an angry run by Lloyd. Good block up front, but after the first 5 yards, it was all Lloyd, and he just leveled some pain there on, it looks like that was one of the linebackers. Was that Fargo?
Charles, we also talked about fumbles as well. That's the first fumble.
That's right. That's right.
All of our notes just shattered in the first 3 minutes. Everything's happened. We can
start bringing up more stuff in pregame.
2nd down and 1. Brown takes off on a quarterback keeper, gets the first down. The linebackers for DC include Nick Fargo, Chris Britton III, Kano Fortson. The offensive line for Vancouver, Gregory Winnell, Frank Burke, Zach Turner, Alden Bleeker, and Mango Moody.
Another test. I said it before on the last possession. DC's got to do something. 21-0 on the road against Vancouver is Mount Everest to climb up.
Christian Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, John Michael Sudduth. 20-0.
Third touchdown of the season there for Mr. Sudduth, and was open on the edge of the end zone. That's a tough pass to get off. You got to have perfect timing there. Offensive line, as I said all night, has been doing a wonderful job for Christian Brown.
I promise you we will get your bingo numbers updated. This game has started fast and furious. And there's only so many things one man can do.
I put in a ticket for my broken bingo card last week, and I didn't get any response back from the league office.
I think the ticket was broken as well. Chance to win's extra point is good, and it's 21-0. Wow. I mean, if you're DC, I mean, where do you go from here?
I mean, you just can't panic. You have enough time in the game to stick with what you've planned coming in. You just got to stop making mistakes.
BC has touched the ball once. They have one offensive play, and somehow they have 2 turnovers. That's how bad the game is right now for the Dragons.
To keep this Vancouver defense at bay. They're running around like some hungry pit bulls out there. You got to do something to put them on their heels.
All right, 6:45 to go in the first quarter. Let's reset things as the DC Dragons have been smacked in the mouth, face, eyes, and nose here in the first 3 minutes and 15 seconds of this game. This is Synergy dropping to throw. That pass is wide and incomplete, looking for Mason Kirby. The offensive starters for DC, Synergy, Kevin Say, Sam Harrison, and Chuck Steller in the backfield. Jay Hayden, Ronnie Shanahan, Mason Kirby, and Connor Weston at receiver. The tight ends are Lauren Prococo and James Walters on the line. Watch out for Connie Cook, number 71. Al Freedom, number 73, and Michael Prococo, number 66. Second down and 10 for DC. 2 backs and 2 receivers in the backfield. Synergy drops to throw against some pressure deep down the field. The pass is caught by Prococo to the 42-yard line. First down, Dragons.
Well, one of the things you want to do if you want to get your offensive game plan back into some rhythm, you got to put Prococo in the mix, and good route down the middle there, accurate throw by Synergy, and we're looking at a key first down for DC.
Dragons with 3 receivers are going to hand it off for the first time tonight to Harrison. Not much there, only a yard. All right, Charles, here are your updated bingo numbers.
Tonight's bingo numbers are 50 plus 7, 14, 21, 16, and 9. And I'm going to have to put another ticket into it for it.
Synergy over the middle. That pass is caught the Vancouver 42. So Lauren Prococo again settling the troops for DC as she so often does.
I know it's early in the game, Cam, but it looks like DC's found a hole in the center of that coverage for Vancouver. That's not like the defenses we've seen from Vancouver in the past. Normally they lock that down, so let's see if they make an adjustment.
At the Vancouver 41-yard line, Prococo now with 2 catches for 33 yards thus far. Toss, dangerous to the outside, but Steller able to make something out of nothing and pick up 14 yards. Vancouver was expecting that toss, and it almost cost DC again.
They had Blackman up there on run coverage, thought he was going to have a huge tackle in the backfield, but Chuck Steller wasn't having any of it. The fullback just showed some nimble moves to get to the outside and get that first down.
We have 1 bingo card left, folks. So if you are watching and for whatever reason don't have your card, there's 1 left to claim before we're sold out. Synergy is going to be dropped for a sack, a loss of 6 yards. And making the play is Gerald Giudice. His defensive end companion, Achilles Papatonis, leads the league in sacks.
Yeah, that's Juicy's 3rd sack of the season, and it looks like they've been sending pressure on every play. And on that one, Gerald Giudice was untouched, and that is not a smart move if you're trying to keep your quarterback upright.
Now it's 2nd and long at the 34, probably outside of field goal range. Can the Dragons find a little momentum here? Pass is caught to the 15-yard line. And I tell you what, Weston and Prococo have showed up on the drive for sure.
And that was a very, very difficult pass to get rid of. Tip of the cap to Synergy. The pocket looked like it was starting to break down, had to throw over a defensive lineman that was jumping up in the air and make a very accurate pass to Weston.
.403 to go. in the first quarter. Synergy looking for Percoco. That one is knocked away by Mark Lopez. Second down.
That was five. Looked like there were 5 defenders in the center of that end zone trying to break that up.
Seven and a half point favorites are the Legion. Up 21 early, and almost another sack for Papatonis. Instead, it's Chris Joseph bringing down Synergy, and now it's 3rd and long.
And they've been just destroying that offensive line for DC. Second sack of the season for Joseph. Again, they're making some great moves against this offensive line, and having their way. And it's going to be a long night for Synergy if they don't figure out a way to tone that pass rush down.
3rd and long. How can Synergy get out of this one? 3 of 6 for 52 yards and a pick. 4 wide receivers. They need the 4-yard line for a first. Shabazz going to take off, try to do it himself. Just get what he can, Charles, and make sure they get points out of the drive.
Yeah, definitely. Got it. Walk away with 3 here.
A 32-yard field goal attempt, as the numbers are flying tonight for those trying to win a virtual bingo this evening. Over 300 grand on the line. The kick from Victor Ironleg is good from 32 yards out, and it's 21-3.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put anything on Synergy on that last series. I mean, he was under duress on every play, and a couple of those plays just showed the brilliance. His veteran skills there in the pocket, able to get quality passes deep downfield, keep the drive alive.
More numbers off the board, and Charles Doherty has you covered.
Tonight's numbers are 50, 7, 14, 21, 16, 9, 3, and 32.
We're going to change that to over 50. Make sure we don't confuse the folks at home.
Duly correct. I feel duly corrected.
Oh, I'm correcting it too, because it's technically over 50 on your cards as well. Christian Brown, deep shot. That pass is caught, and BK12 is off and running tonight in his 18th season. The 7-time All-Star has a first down.
DC's got to figure out a way, either with the linebackers or the line, or bring a safety down somehow to disrupt this flow of Vancouver. Right now, they're just playing perfect on offense, and the defense for DC got to do something to take them off their game.
At the 40-yard line. Love the Champions logo at midfield for Vancouver. There goes Lloyd, and he is just shy of a first down, nearly 10 yards on the carry. Vancouver doing whatever they want offensively.
Everyone on that offensive team is very good at blocking for the run, and you can see on that outside run, I mean, they just executed perfectly and allowed Lloyd to get a good run downfield.
Christian Brown on a little option keeper's got a first down, and the Vancouver drive will continue on. Early on, Vancouver with 137 yards, averaging 10.5 yards a play.
I don't think he got touched all the way up to the slide. I don't think there was anyone near him.
Handoff, Lloyd, and finally DC's Chris Britton III able to get a drop in the backfield.
Yeah, they needed that. They got to do something. That's that little spark, they can build on that. Got to do something to get some momentum change here.
1:15 and counting. Ball at the DC 46-yard line. Brown looking for someone to get open. He's going to take off himself, and DC again had him contained. Only a pickup of a few. 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7. It looks like they've slowed the offense down a little bit, but we're going to see how well they're doing here on this 3rd and 7.
Can the Dragons get off the field? Play fake. Brown looking. DC's got him in a zone. And Brown with a stiff arm. First down, Vancouver, shoving Mike Wagner to the ground.
That was what you call a gritty quarterback right there. Everything was breaking down. Great coverage downfield. He had pressure up the middle, and he just found it's like he slid under a door. He was able to get through that that really tenacious pass rush of DC and was able to get that first down. Impressive.
When was the last time you shoved a 350-pound man to the ground? Brown just did it 20 seconds ago, and Devin Lloyd can't be stopped inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, they're just taking that. When Vancouver needs it, they just find that extra gear, and they do whatever they need to get that first down and keep the drive alive.
This feels impossible from DC tonight. They are really behind the 8 ball here. End of the first quarter, a dominant first quarter for the Vancouver Legion. It's 21-3 early on here on the Monday Night Spectacular. Alongside J.W. Doyle and Eddie Gage in the stats truck, Ron Haynes assisting, Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. The winner of this game gets to 4-1. Vancouver can continue to control the West. If it is DC coming from behind, they would tie Detroit atop the East, who suffered their first loss earlier in the weekend. This handoff goes to Lloyd, gets 5 on the carry.
Vancouver, at this spot of the field, they are dangerous. I mean, they can kill you in the run game, short pass, long pass, whatever. I mean, DC is in a hole, and I said it early here in the first quarter. They got to do something to turn it upside down.
2 in the backfield. Brown, toss. Doyle, 10. Doyle, 6-yard line. 1st and goal. And there's Gary Clem in again to clean up the play. But when your safety's doing that much work, Charles, it's a bad sign.
I don't know what it is, but Doyle looks a couple pounds lighter there on that run and was able to show some agility and the first down.
Yeah. I don't know what it is either, Charles. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. He's looking spry. 9:10 to go in the first half. This is Bear in motion. Sudduth is the fullback lined up in the backfield. He is attempting to block. Oh, what a vicious tackle there from Ricky Robinson. It's a personal foul face mask, and things just keep going from bad to worse.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a big play right there. Oh, my gosh. I didn't necessarily see the face mask, but I did see a limb on the ground that was flopping around.
8:48 to go in the first half. What an ugly half for the Dragons. Looking for some sort of miracle here inside the 2. Brown going to throw. Oh, they nearly got that miracle.
Wow.
But could not come away with the interception due in coverage. Check that Blackman in coverage.
Yeah, double coverage in the end zone, and it looked like Jalen Wells was wide open on a hot route at the top of the screen.
Haynes' vision getting a look at that wicked face mask. Good call by the officials. 2nd and goal. 8:36 to play. 21-3 Vancouver. They'll hand it off this time, and that is check that. That is Jalen Wells getting dropped in the backfield. A pair of 34 fullbacks out here tonight. 3rd and goal.
I think they gave him the ball after he said, "Hey, I was wide open. I could have, skipped into the end zone." All right, we'll hand you the ball this time.
On this drive, 9 runs to just 2 passes. They're going to pass here, and Brown is taken down. A big sack around the left side. Seth Harrison making the play, and DC at least gets a half a stop.
And his 5th sack of the season for Harrison. He's leading the Dragons on that line in the sack category, and they needed it, man. That's when guys like Harrison need to step up in situations like that.
So a 26-yard field goal coming up for Vancouver to make it 24-3, and chance to win's kick is up and good, and Vancouver repossesses their 3-touchdown advantage.
And this is a big series for DC coming out here. I know they held them to it was a pretty good drive there for Vancouver, but DC coming out on offense. I think they need to mix up the targets there on on offense. It looks like the focus has been on Weston and Percoco all night.
That return will get out to the 23-yard line for chance to win. That is field goal number 222. Chance to win now needs just 2 more to pass Brad Bretchett for 7th all-time, and he has now tied Cliff Allen for the 8th most field goal attempts of all time, a top 10 kicker building a Hall of Fame resume for sure. That is just a little flip out to Sam Harrison, and it only got a yard. Mark Lopez was not fooled. There's some updated numbers on the board as well.
That was an odd, I wonder if that was an intended pass. That was just weird. It came out of the hands all wrong.
It just kind of shoveled it out to Harrison in a lot of traffic, a lot of heavy traffic right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to toss it out to Harrison this time, and look at Vancouver. They're all over. It's like they're in the playbook. Jack Russell with the stop.
Yeah, every play they're aggressive, and there's no reason for them to stop. I mean, they've been shutting down the offense so far tonight, and got to do something to mix it up. A play action, roll out, something to put Vancouver on their heels.
Eddie Gage in the truck saying that ball was deflected at the line. That's why it looked a little funky. 3rd and 9, and there, down he goes again. And this time it's Papatonis with the sack. 3 different sacks by 3 different players on this Vancouver defensive front, and it's 4th down and long.
8.5 sacks for Papatonis. I mean, he is a monster, having a great year.
So now DC's got a punt, and that average starting field position for Vancouver now at their own 45-yard line. I think their average, Charles, is probably on DC's side of the field at this point.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's they're making it easy for Vancouver. I mean, when they're on the right, good field position, they always make you pay for it.
First punt by either team in this one, which is wild to say considering DC's down 21 points. The handoff goes to Devin Lloyd. He's bounced backwards after a pickup of a little over 4.
I mean, I'm running out of things to say about this offense. I mean, everything they've tried so far, with the exception of a play or two, has just been spot on.
Handoff to Doyle, breaking tackles, 1st down to the 41-yard line. The DC Dragons, the most points they've ever given up in franchise history is 55. That was to this Vancouver team in the old Canada field way back in season 17. Lost a wild one, 55-52. I don't think the Dragons will be getting 52 tonight.
Oh, yeah, well, you went and said it.
Well, I'm hoping we get a little bit more of a competitive game here as the pickup goes for 4. Devin Lloyd on the carry.
Yeah, again, I said it early in the game. Offensive line for Vancouver is A+ so far in their blocking.
2nd and 6, halfway through the second quarter. Handoff to, a couple broken tackles. That's Jalen Wells again. But he only picked up 1. Chris Britton, the 3rd, cleaned it up, and so now we're back to 3rd down.
Yep, they're in a position to stop this drive for DC, get the ball back, and cut the deficit going into halftime.
10 first downs for Vancouver. On 3rd down so far today, they're 2 for 3. This is Christian Brown, almost sacked, and he overthrew his intended target. I think Brown was breathing a sigh of relief just to get rid of that thing.
Harrison was so close, just facing the wrong way. Little more to the left, and we could have been looking at a sack.
DC has not converted a 3rd down so far tonight, and Vancouver, best in the league. They only give up 3 third down conversions from their opponents throughout a contest. This is going to bounce into the end zone. Unfortunate bounce there for Vancouver's punting unit. All right, so Dragons back at it. If they get a touchdown on this drive, it'd be just a 2-score game heading into halftime.
Yeah, we'll have a game. I know you're demanding that they both put up 50+, but we'll see.
I can't demand these teams do anything. They never listen to me. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, especially on the field. As Synergy will have a split back look. He'll toss it out to Stellar, and a great open field tackle. How many times do you see that go awry for a defense? Stellar picks up just 3.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 5'11", 240, a bowling ball coming at you. That was a pretty dang good open field tackle. Michael
Lister made that stop. 2nd down and 7. The handoff. No play action. It fooled Vancouver. Now a good interception. It fooled a couple of members, but not all of them. It's picked off by Drew Hamilton in his first season at linebacker, having himself a phenomenal year, and he gets the INT.
Yeah, third interception of the season, and I was gonna say, hey, that was a great time to call a play action, but man, the defense for Vancouver just showed how disciplined they are, and stayed to what the play dictated, and were able to come around with a interception.
And more great field position again for Vancouver into DC territory. Hamilton also with 10 TFLs this season. That's third most in the SFL. The handoff goes to Lloyd, and the sad thing about this, Charles, is DC's defense has shown a lot of heart in this first half, but they have been backed up in their own end zone quite a bit.
Yeah, they've been put in bad spots, and it's but that's what they're paid to do. They got to go out and get the ball back for their offense.
2nd and 10, 3.5 to go in the second frame. John Michael Sudduth split out wide, goes in motion. His lone touchdown pass reception went for 16. Brown drops to throw, looking for Sudduth on a little out route, but that is incomplete. 3rd down and 10 as Brown has a discussion with Zach Turner.
So we need to do an analysis, and I would imagine that Sudduth takes the longest amount of time to go in motion than any other player in the league.
It's certainly not fleet of foot.
I was checking the speed on my YouTube channel to see if I had it set right.
BK12 goes in motion much faster this time. 3rd down and 10. This is Brown dropping to throw. Brown looking, firing, and caught all the way across the field. BK12 with the reception.
Holy smokes. Slowly just, adding time to the on that one play, the offensive line wasn't doing good blocking as they were previous plays. So what did Brown do? Took a couple steps out of the pocket to add some time so he could go through his progressions, turned his body around and threw it cross field on a dime, and was able to get that huge pass across. I mean, that's a veteran quarterback for you.
What can Brown do for you? Well, tonight, 6 of 10 for 131 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks, as Doyle will eventually get dragged down after a gain of about a half a yard. That is Blackman on the stop.
I mean, back on that last play, that's got to be so frustrating for the defense. I mean, the secondary in particular, they're holding their own, got good coverage, but you can only hold that so long against these wide receivers of Vancouver.
2nd down and 9. Brown under center, 2-by-2. This will be Killian making it a 3-by-1. Short side left. He's followed across the formation by Peanut Say. Just before the 2-minute warning, Brown will hand it off. That's Lloyd, and Gary Clem sticks him. Clem now with his 7th tackle.
Wow. Minute warning here. DC's going to get the ball back, but best case scenario is either a turnover, obviously, or a 3. They don't want to get get points on the board.
Clem racking up an impressive evening as he's been on cleanup duty for the DC Dragons throughout the night. A 45.5 over/under as Killian goes in motion again. Vancouver definitely looking like they're going to cover this evening. A play-action rollout from Brown. Brown again all day to throw. He dumps it off to Ezekiel Bear, and he's well short of the 1st down. So DC again gets a half a stop.
Yeah, kept them out of the end zone, but still they're looking at a 24-point deficit here going into the halftime if they're not able to decrease the lead here a bit, at least putting a field goal up. So a lot of pressure on this offense for DC.
A 24-yard field goal will make this 27-3. Chance to win's kick is good. And for all intents and purposes, at least in the SFL, that is a 4-score lead.
Yeah, I mean, they're just Vancouver on both sides of the ball. They're just executing flawlessly.
Get an extra bingo number out of that, and if you had a card with a bunch of 20s tonight, you're in business. Charles, give the people their updated numbers.
Tonight's numbers are over 50, 7, 14, 21, 16, 9, 3, 32, 24, 26, and 27.
We've needed no bonus numbers tonight because we've had plenty. come off the board. That's our 11th number called tonight. Synergy is sacked again. Judas Sessi with his second coming in like a flying dart.
Fourth sack, and Juicy is he's on fire. Got to put somebody in front of him.
We're going to talk about Jared Giudice potentially joining the Marvel universe or the DC universe, Charles, maybe in the second half when things get ugly. Remind me to circle back to the thought. Bear with me.
Okay.
Synergy dropping to throw. That pass is caught, and
there
he
go.
goes down the sideline all the way to the DC side of the field. Mason Kirby with the first down grab.
It looks like that might have been Kirby's only second target of the night, but as I said, the Baz Synergy has to start spreading the ball around. I mean, they're locking down Weston and Percoco, so now's the time for players like Kirby to step up and get some targets.
Mason Kirby with his first grab on his second target tonight. 1:14 to go in the half. This is Synergy firing open down the field. That is caught, and there's Jay Hayden for the first down. Timeout, DC.
I think all their wide receivers have been targeted tonight. So good job. I mean, good job. They need to do more of that in the second half.
Mixing things up. Synergy is up to 6 of 10 for over 100 yards. Ball at the Vancouver 36-yard line as Kirby will go in motion. Synergy to pass again. It's intercepted. Picked off by Mark Lopez with a 27 on the board. And Mark's vision looks just fine to me. He's having a great night as well.
And he just got on into chat too. Did I miss anything? And he got an interception. So, wow, he needs to go get a lotto ticket as well.
Great one-handed pick at 2.
Amazing. Hey, I got some ideas for some bonus numbers if you need them, Cam.
Really? Some ideas. Now, remember, chat, these are just ideas, not actual. No, I just want to be clear. What are the ideas for your numbers?
So if I give them to you and I happen to win bingo, is that going to raise some eyebrows?
I think it would probably raise some red flags, yes. Christian Brown drops to throw. That pass is caught. John Michael Sudduth with a first down.
Well, I mean, he is a big target right there. Like I said before, his speed over ground isn't as high as most of the players in the league, but man, runs great routes and has very sure hands.
Mark Lopez in the chat. Hold on, let me step away, then come back to the game if we need another pick. Sudduth with his second grab. Christian Brown is playing one of the best halves of his career. The handoff. Oh, my. Oh, Devin Lloyd picks up 6. Timeout, Vancouver.
Yeah, like you said, almost 64% completion percentage, and he's spreading it around. Just needs to target Lopez and Bear to hit, to do the full Monty. 27-3, Vancouver in the first half. As Brown finds Nick Lockett open for the first down of the 43. Timeout, Dragons. It's just the way Vancouver moves the ball downfield. I mean, it's almost effortless.
Tonight's drives for Vancouver: a 5-play touchdown drive, a 2-play touchdown drive, a 4-play touchdown drive, a 13-play field goal drive. They've had 1 punt and then a 6-play field goal drive, and now this one that has another first down. Now, Vancouver is out of timeouts. They're in some dangerous territory, Charles. They cannot run a play inbounds with under 15 seconds, and they sit at 17 right now.
That was interesting. They sent Lloyd out on the on motion out into the slot and took out. It looked like they were sending in one of the defensive backs on a blitz, and Lloyd just took him right out of the game.
Brown's got to be careful. That pass is incomplete and a blessing in disguise for Vancouver because they're going to get a field goal here just before the break from 47 yards away.
And that's well within to win's range. So let's see if he hits it. I don't want to jinx him, but
this is a 47-yard field goal that would make it 30-3 this half. To win's kick is money. Right down the middle 47 and 30 off the board. The route is on.
Yeah, again, I've said it a bunch of times so far in this broadcast. Vancouver is just playing one, if not the best game of the season tonight for them.
The updated numbers flying off the shelves.
Over 50, 7, 14, 21, 16, 9, 3, 32, 24, 26, 27, 47, and 30. I just did it. I took the initiative, Cam.
Listen, I try to set you up in a lot of different ways because otherwise we get repetitive and boring, and nobody wants that, especially in a 30-3 blowout. They're just going to hand the ball off to Kevin Say. If you can believe it, Charles, that was his only carry of the first half. That's a problem, and it is all Vancouver here tonight on Monday night. 30-3. The Legion on top of the Dragons. Charles, your thoughts on the first half?
I said it before. Vancouver, I run out of things to say. I mean, perfect half for them. BC's got a lot of work to do. I mean, they have to make some serious adjustments on both sides of the ball. If I were Vancouver, stay aggressive on defense. They've got the luxury of, pass if they want to pass, run if they want to run. They've been successful on either. DC's really got to go reach in deep and figure out what it's going to take to cut this lead down.
96 yards of offense in the first quarter for the DC Dragons. 0 yards of offense in the second quarter as they trail big. Christian Brown, 10 of 15, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also has 21 rushing yards here so far tonight. Wow, what a performance from the Vancouver Legion. As we start the second half, we look at Vancouver's upcoming schedule. They, Charles, next week have the only remaining undefeated team in the league, the Houston Headhunters, in a phenomenal matchup. That game is slated for Saturday night, kicking us off Saturday at 6:30 Eastern.
Oh my, it's going to be a good one.
DC, meanwhile, will host Arizona next week. Another tough game for the Dragons. On this kick return, a couple of men missed all the way out to the 41-yard line. That was Kirby on the return. He's had a great game when given the opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it all throughout his career. I mean, you target him, he normally gets the job done, and he definitely did on that return, and it's a perfect way to set the tone here for the second half. Let's just see if that's something they can build on.
You did, JW. 0 yards for DC in that second quarter after 90 in the first. 254 yards of offense for Vancouver in the first half. The handoff to Sam Harrison picks up 7, and correction on that. 37 yards for DC in that second quarter, but still not great.
Being down by 27 points, Cam, I would say they need to, kind of interject more passing. But this coverage for Vancouver has been perfect tonight. They may want to lean, early in this second half on the run a little bit more.
Well, Synergy just leaned into the entire defensive front for Vancouver and got nothing. Third down and 2. So far tonight, not a single third down conversion for the Dragons.
I didn't mean the quarterback run, Ken. I mean, just, get Say and Harrison and Stellar a little bit more involved.
Couldn't agree more. It's going to be Synergy, and he slides. I tell you what, Charles, if he could have broken that tackle, he might have been gone. First down, Dragons.
That's crazy. And one of the things I looked at, going into this game is between these two quarterbacks, they've got 5 rushing touchdowns, which is insane. Total, 3 and 2.
Kevin Say on the handoff, picking up 4 so far this season. Kevin Say on the ground has had 24 carries in 4 games, averaging just 6 carries per game. He gets it going there.
Yeah, again, they got to lean on these guys and put the pressure on the run blocking of the offensive line.
2nd and 6. Synergy drops to throw into a crowd, and in double coverage, Percoco somehow comes down with a football.
That is dangerous. But, if you're going to throw it to Percoco, she'll fight for it and bring it in that tight coverage.
Synergy against heavy pressure. Got to find someone open, and Russell brings him down for a 5-yard loss. That looked like man across the board. Synergy's got to recognize and get rid of it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just the mark of a good defensive squad when you can send, extra men in on the blitz, and folks downfield, the defensive backs downfield, just have all of the wide receivers locked. I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do, like you said, other than throw it out.
2nd down and 15, 7:20 to go in the third quarter, 30-3. Vancouver on top of the Dragons. Play action rollout for Shabazz. He's got time and a wide open for Coco. First down to the Vancouver 23-yard line.
Oh my God. Synergy had a lot of calm and composure there in that pocket. I think that was Judas Sessi that was rumbling towards him to bring some pain. He was able to just stay calm and get rid of the ball there downfield with an accurate pass.
Under 7 to go in the third. This has been DC's probably best drive of the night, all things considered. Can they finish it off with a touchdown? Stellar to the outside again. Vancouver was ready for that pitch. Tyler Highfield makes a stop, 2nd down.
I mean, Stellar hasn't had a lot of touches tonight, but man, when he's been given the ball, I mean, I think he's got 8-yard, 6 to 7 yard average per carry.
18 yards on his first 3 carries, along with 13. Percoco goes in motion, being followed by Jack Russell. Tight end on a safety. Another sack up front, and it's Judas Sessi's 2nd.
He is on fire tonight, and if they don't do something about Juicy up in the middle, he could potentially tie Papatonis for the lead in the league.
They have had no answer for anyone, quite frankly, up front on Vancouver's defensive front. It's not common to see a defensive front playing this well as a unit in the SFL, but they're certainly doing that tonight. 3rd down and 14. Synergy to throw. Can't take a sack and go out of field goal range, and that's exactly what happened. And Papatonis says, "Hey, Juice, no, you're not catching me."
If you're going to catch up to me, you better pack a lunch.
This is just an ugly performance up front, unfortunately, for DC's offensive line, and that sack will force DC out of field goal range, and they get nothing on a 5-minute opening drive, Charles, in which they started at their own 41-yard line after a great kick return.
Well, the defense was challenged somewhat on that drive. They got a little deep, almost knocking at the door for scoring, but man, Vancouver the defense was challenged, and they just shifted it up into high gear, and the defensive line took over.
Vancouver starting at their own 16, 5:10 to go in the third. The handoff goes to Devin Lloyd. That'll pick up 7.
Their running backs tonight, Cam, both are over 5 yards per carry between Lloyd and Doyle. I don't think Wells has got a run yet tonight, but man, when you've got 5 yards per carry here deep in the second half, you're doing something right.
And Christian Brown has another first down on the ground. The hits just keep on coming for the DC defense.
Yeah, he slid at just the right time because that looked like that was the safety that was going for the head.
4:23 to go, third quarter. Brown dropping a throw. That is caught. Ezekiel Bear to midfield, and even more impressive, Charles, is just how many weapons for Vancouver have gotten involved in this one so far.
Yeah, I mean, Bear's been quiet. I think that's his first target of the night, and man, that was a big one to keep the drive going. I mean, Bear's been he's had a great season so far with leading the team in are tied with Sutter for 3 touchdowns. So they kept them pretty much in check so far, but not on that last play.
Toss to Lloyd. Lloyd again damaging a defender and picking up 4 yards in the process.
Yeah, the scary thing about Vancouver, Cam, is we've said a bunch of things why they're scary, but if they want to go to burn the clock scenario for their offense, they're geared for it.
2nd and 6. The handoff is dropped for a loss of 1. That is Chris Britton, the third on the tackle. So 3rd down coming up for Vancouver. They are 3 of 6 so far tonight. Lloyd is spread out really wide. And a funky look there. Going to go out for a route. That pass is incomplete. Not sure. Vancouver was trying to use a little eye candy there. It did not fool the Dragons, and DC's defense comes up with another good stop.
Good stop there. There's pressure out there on the top of the screen, and to Brown's credit, he kept it alive, taking that little shift in the pocket to kind of extend the play a little bit, but that's just the markings of a veteran quarterback, but good defense by DC.
This one will pop inside the 10 and roll into the end zone. I was going to say, Charles, if they get that bounce, they got everything going tonight.
Yeah, that's interesting. They've got 2 kickers. One does the punting duty, and the other does I wonder if they switched it up each week.
Ron Van Cleef and Victor Ironleg, part of this team. There's Synergy's numbers tonight. 8 of 13 for 118 yards. That's not so bad. But 3 of those incompletions, interceptions. Toss play out to Stellar. He breaks a tackle, picks up 8 yards.
He's one of the players on the DC defense that's having a solid game so far. I'd keep him in whatever you do. Hand off to him, screen pass, whatever. Keep him involved.
Up to 26 yards on 4 carries for Stellar. 2nd down and 2 for DC as they just try to get some sort of semblance of momentum here. Synergy will take off for a 1st down. Both of these quarterbacks like to do a little running, but so far Synergy's just done mostly running for his life.
Yeah, the defensive line is so quick. You got to make your decisions rapidly there if you're the quarterback, and most of the time it's run and stay alive.
1st and 10, 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. 30-3 Vancouver on top of DC. Stellar gets the drop, no gain. That's Blackman on the stop, and that's the best they've defended that toss.
One of the things that I think stands out for this Vancouver defense is their cornerbacks are so good at tackling. You can put them on the edge there, and you can count on them to do some great open field tackling.
Synergy deep, and it's deflected. That was getting in the way. Tyler Highfield, who's had a good night, 1st season in Vancouver.
We've said it a couple times tonight, Cam. Got to walk away with a 1st down here. It's with each punt, it's making it more difficult to bring this lead down to something manageable.
3rd and 10, Synergy's pass is hauled in at midfield. Connor Weston, who's been really quiet as of late, just his 2nd grab of the night.
And it was a big one. In the middle, had another receiver come in the middle. They collided. He was still able to bring the ball in.
Weston and Percoco nearly ran into each other on that play. The ball marked just shy of midfield. 1st down for DC. That was their 10th 1st down of the night. Vancouver with 17. Synergy dropping to throw. That one is hauled in to the 38-yard line, and that's Weston again for the 1st down.
So they're able to get across the 50. We've seen that by the DC offense. Here's where they're in the sticky part of the field because the defense is very stingy, starting at the 40-yard line, as they get closer into the goal.
7 sacks for Vancouver tonight. 3 turnovers for the Dragons as well. 1st down and 10, and you're absolutely right, Charles. That has been where Vancouver's defense has really sunk their teeth into these DC Dragons as that ball is deflected and nearly caught on the hop by Russell.
Yeah, Russell kind of got a involuntary, pass deflection on that one. It hit him in the shoulder pads with his back turned to it, but he lifted his arm up at the last second and got credit for the PD.
Synergy now 10 of 17 for 143 yards. Synergy dropping a throw. He is going to avoid the sack, and Kevin Say makes the catch. That was Papatonis around the end.
And that's, Cam, I think we're looking at the first reception of a running back for DC.
Unbelievable. Oh, my goodness. Final play of the quarter. And once again, this time it's Gaston Jr. in the most critical moment for DC on a drive. They take a sack. And we've hit the end of the third quarter. Wow. 30-3. Vancouver on top of the DC Dragons. It's all Vancouver tonight. Another punt coming up for the team from the nation's capital.
And congrats to Gaston, linebacker for Vancouver. That's his first sack of the season.
Everybody's eating tonight for Vancouver. That is Ron Van Cleef doing the punting duties. And a low, sort of falling from the sky punt, fielded by Ezekiel Bear. He has the most punt returns of any returner in the league, and that's largely due, Charles, to the fact that Vancouver's defense gets so many stops.
But when he does have to stand back there and receive the punt, he is fearless.
Vancouver gives up 16.3 points per game, but only 11.5 at home. That number's going to get even smaller unless DC can find something here in the fourth quarter. 30-3, Brown dropping to throw, and Brown is going to take off and run and slide at the 25, picking up 6 yards.
That was nothing turned into 6 yards. I thought Brown was going to get stonewalled back there in the backfield.
Pickup of 6. 8 in the box for DC. They back off, and it's caught anyway. Nick Lockett over midfield and into DC territory.
That right there is a great example of the Vancouver offense. They're in jokers, and they're able to complete a 50-yard pass downfield. You don't see many teams even trying that.
For Lockett, that is catch number 3 on the night for 33 yards. He's got 3, Killian's got 3, Bear's got 2, Sudduth's got 2, Doyle has 1 even for the touchdown. First down and 10, they toss it out to Lloyd, and Devin Lloyd will scoop up 5 more to his resume tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that offensive line, again, you got to tip your cap to them. They're just run blocking, pass blocking, whatever you ask them to do. I mean, they could put on a concerto if you wanted them to.
8.5.
I don't know what that means, but I just said it.
8.5 to play. The handoff goes to Doyle, and that is, a little short of a first down. Vancouver might want a challenge, but, let's keep proceedings moving.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the point? By 27.
What's the point?
Right.
You need some more grief counseling, Charles. Having a hard time.
Yeah, you go right for the pressure points.
First down.
Wow. Both of these quarterbacks, in Brown and Synergy, man, they're very, very adept at running the ball.
Updated numbers, 129 on the ground for Vancouver. 4 of 9 on third down, 7.5 to go. Doyle takes the handoff and picks up 6. I think the stat of the night, Charles, is that DC has 12 first downs and has taken 8 sacks. So they have almost as many sacks allowed as they do first downs. That's a dominant performance.
Yeah, and Vancouver is in time mode right here, and they're doing a great job of milking it.
3rd and 6 coming up as Lloyd's actually dropped in the backfield. Nice play by DC. All things considered, 345 total yards for Vancouver, not great, but DC's defense been put in a lot of adverse situations, and they've shown flashes tonight of playing really well. Chris Britton has 9 total tackles. Clem also with 9. It just has not been enough on a night that essentially spiraled out of control for the Dragons. 21-0 just in the first 3 minutes of the game, and Lloyd's got another first down and a stiff arm into the red zone.
To your point, Cam, I agree with you, but I think one of the watermarks here for a defense is turnovers and sacks, and they haven't had either of them tonight.
That's true. And that's a good point, and that's due largely to blocks like that from Vancouver. Nice job by Alden Bleeker getting to the outside.
I thought that was Sudeth for a second.
No, you would have known the difference if Bleeker would have gone in motion. Then that would have been even slower. I don't want to give Mark Lopez any ideas, though. The mad scientist over there.
Oh, definitely.
6:12 to go in the fourth quarter. That's a handoff to Lloyd's backup, and he's still getting 6 yards on the play.
Yeah, and tick-tock. I mean, we're going to be under the 6-minute mark. They got this. They had this ball before. When did they get the ball? How long? They burned off at least 3 or 4 minutes.
9:52 is when the drive started. Yeah, almost
amazing.
4 minutes off the clock. Doyle is suplexed into the turf. That's another strong tackle from Chris Britton, the third down coming up.
I'm pretty sure Vancouver's probably going to pass this one, but they really don't have a need to do it. But they probably will. Or they'll do the pitch out of the backfield.
3rd and 3. It's Doyle back there along with Sudeth. .5:16 to go in the fourth quarter. And the handoff goes to Doyle. He's got a touchdown. Wow. Untouched into the end zone, and Vancouver piles on.
We said that at the exact same time. Untouched until the end zone, where it didn't matter anymore. Look at that blocking on the edge. Wow, that is some scary blocking by Vancouver.
And Doyle's got his second touchdown of the night. That's some incentive money for Mr. JW.
Yeah, he's had a very solid game, and he's got to be high-fiving it to the offensive line for setting him up.
So 37 is off the board for your bingo pleasure. We'll get the yardage on that coming up as well with 5:11 to go in the fourth quarter. All Vancouver tonight as DC will go back home to lick their wounds. That's an 11-yard touchdown for Doyle, so 11 coming off the board as well. We finally have some numbers here in the first half. We had plenty in the first, so 37 and 11 are your new numbers, and we've got all your updated numbers coming up right now.
Updated numbers tonight: over 50, 7, 14, 21, 16, 9, 3, 32, 24, 26, 27, 47, 30, 37, and 11.
For Chris Britton tonight, we always try to highlight good performances, strong performances, even on a losing team. Britton's third game with over 10 tackles in his last 7 outings. Britton's been playing great. That's a beautiful run from Chuck Steller as he's taking out some frustration on Vancouver's defense with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I would add I'd add Steller as well to the list of good performers tonight. Every time he touches the ball, he's been executing.
I'm a little surprised so far in the start of the season that the DC Dragons have not gone his way more. Just 8 carries in 4 games. He's been a linchpin of this Dragon offense, but hasn't featured him as much as it has tonight. And so far for Steller, he's up to 40 yards on 6 carries as that ball is caught by Ronnie Shanahan, his first target tonight.
A nice accurate pass there by Synergy.
2nd and inches. Shabazz drops to throw. That is complete, and shrugging off the would-be defender is Shanahan with his second grab.
Yeah, I mean, between Kirby and Shanahan, the good news is they're targeting more in the second half.
Jay Hayden with the catch down to the 20-yard line. 4:26 to go as the action moves fast and furious. DC tries to get another touchdown on the board. That ball is nearly intercepted. 2nd down and 10. And this touchdown or score, Charles, could be the difference in someone winning some bank money tonight or not. Some drama here in the 4th quarter. That's what we'd like to see.
Yeah, definitely. Jack Russell was looking at his 2nd interception of the season right there. He's kicking himself right in his hands.
2nd down and 10. Synergy dropping to throw. That is caught down to the 4-yard line of 1st and goal. That's Mason Kirby with the grab, and now it's officially down to the 3. Synergy back to throw. He pitches it to Harrison, and it's dropped for a loss.
Wow. You know, I had 3 on my bingo card, crying out loud.
Well, 3's already been called, Charles. Go ahead and mark it off. Synergy's pass is incomplete. 3rd down and goal coming up.
I missed that one. It's hard.
You've been reading the numbers off all night.
I got to pay attention.
It's 3rd and goal. I'll give you guys 4 if DC can score, because it is at the 3.5. We'll give a 4 out here in the later stretches if Synergy can punch this in. 3rd down and goal. Under 4 to go. Bunch off the left side. Synergy. One-on-one touchdown from 4 yards out. Connor Weston with the score.
Outstanding. Doesn't do me any good for bingo, but that was good drive there by DC.
Well, a silver lining. Very good drive for Synergy in the later stretches. 10 will come off the board as well. 37-10 is your new score here on the Monday Night Spectacular.
Wow. What a game by Vancouver. I mean, every time I look up at that score, it just amazes me. Started off strong, and they just had their foot on the pedal all night.
Onside kick is recovered and returned. Oh, that could have been more numbers down to the 12-yard line. Hill with nearly a touchdown, and we're going to see some more points in this one.
Hill? Wait a minute. That is normally they okay. Normally they have a starter in that spot. I mean, that's a I wanted to see Sudduth take the ball and run downfield. I'm not picking on him. I just love the the tight end position, and especially the big bulky ones like Sudduth trying to run downfield. It just cracks me up.
Big men touchdowns are they're a sight to behold. Brown's going to throw. This is intercepted, picked off, and Vancouver got a little too cute that time, and DC's going to get an interception. Peanuts say with the takeaway, and unfortunately for Christian Brown, that kills a near perfect evening.
Oh, I know, man. He had a clean sheet going up to now, and Peanuts say I think that's his first interception of the season.
So for Peanuts say, he is going to add another to his resume of 11 seasons in the league. Percoco with a catch, but it's actually going to lose 2. That is his 39th interception all time, as Synergy's pass this time is incomplete. 3rd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, the defense is angry. They're swarming all over the place. I just don't know how those sunglasses stay on Molinix's head.
He told me, I actually was talking to him on the phone earlier this week. He said it's super glue.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And I said, well, how do you get them off? And he said, what do you mean? And then we just kind of changed subjects. And yeah, I'm not really sure. Synergy dropping to throw. That pass is complete. 4th and 1 coming up, though, for DC. We'll see if they decide to go for it or just boot it. I think they're going to go.
Yeah, they should go for it.
DC is 2 for 2 on 4th downs this season. They have been perfect converting. 4th down and 1. Synergy drops to throw. He fires. That one is incomplete. And there's the broadcaster jinx. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, that's another one Russell had in his mitts. But, can't make any fault for the defense for Vancouver tonight. In perfect game. That was good hops.
There have been so many players tonight on the Vancouver's side of the ball defensively that's been great. Look at Russell's numbers. 6 solos, 1 assisted, a sack, 2 TFLs, 3 pass deflections, and a pick. Russell's been on point. Thanks again to J.W. Doyle and Eddie Gage, Ron Haynes assisting in our stats truck tonight, bringing us all those good statistics. 3:08 to go in the fourth. The handoff will be dropped for no gain. Charles, next week, you are in action. The York Carolina Skyhawks hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhogs. A serious game for both teams, and you know what? You get a chance to quote-unquote enjoy or severely stress about your evening next Monday night.
It's also known as a 1-week suspension.
In the broadcast booth. Yes, you've gone over your target limit of
Violations.
Yeah, you've gone over your violations of what, Charles? What would you be in violation of on a broadcast?
I mean, I think that there's a long list of things. I don't like going through them because it's too painful.
It's too painful. Oh, Charles, this is why everyone loves you.
Yeah, right.
2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Playing out the stretch here on MNS. So next Monday we got Pitt and Carolina, an important game for both teams in needing a much needed win next week. Saturday's primetime game is Arizona DC, two top teams in the league. Obviously, Saturday also features Vancouver at Houston. That is a monster matchup as the defending champs try to be sure that there are no undefeated teams left in the league this season. Wow, what, Charles?
Yeah, I was just looking. I'm just wondering. Yeah, they're going to go for the field goal. They could just run it out here, but Andy likes those points.
They are going to kick it. That would give us
with Andy.
That would give us 40 on the night. That kick is good. We'll get the yardage on that field goal here momentarily, but 40-10, Vancouver gets some more points on the board, and that's another number. This is a VFN bingo record for numbers called in an evening.
What was the number?
Well, we got 40 on the board, and then we got to check the yardage. Vancouver will kick it deep.
That looked more like 43 to me.
No. It was a 40. It's 40 points on the board. Let's see. We're calling that 37, and we've already got that. I'm not giving 38. Another one. We've already hit the record.
It looks more like 38 to me.
It was not 38.
38.
I don't know who that. I don't know what kind of interference that was that we just had, but it's second down and 10.
Whoever was that, whoever that was,
is fired.
Sounded lighter.
Did you say? Oh, I get what you mean. I love this job. Second down and 10. There's all your numbers tonight. Synergy's pass is intercepted. Oh, my goodness. Oh. What a tough night for the DC Dragons. And with 2 timeouts for DC, it may not be over just yet. But the interception by Ron Hoff, don't want to take away from his nice play. Wow, and the receiver got popped for it, too.
Right. And also started off with that savage defensive line breaking up the pass blocking scheme.
Look at this. I mean, 8 sacks allowed, 5 turnovers, 3 of 8 on third down. The first downs have been 20-17. I guess not too bad. Doyle is going to get up to the 25-yard line. That will be the final timeout for the DC Dragons. Check that. I think they got one more left.
Yeah, this has just been a total domination by Vancouver. I mean, hats off to the coaching staff for coming up with a great playbook.
4 different players with a pick. And in terms of the DC Dragons history on the road, on the road, Charles, DC's worst loss in franchise history also was 30 points. Back in season 23, they lost to Arizona 37-7. So if for whatever reason, I think if DC gets a stop here, Vancouver would kick another field goal. Well, they don't have to worry about that. Doyle gets the first down. No more timeouts for DC. Vancouver can run out the clock. Coming up on Friday to start the week next week, it's Albuquerque at Florida. That should be a good game as Albuquerque's coming off the win over Vancouver. We got Miami, Bossier City, Fort Worth, Birmingham, and Chicago, Lexington on Friday.
Yeah, and hats off to the stats team tonight. They were killing it.
So we get 18 called numbers thanks to J.W. Doyle, Ron Haynes, and Eddie Gage in our beautiful stat truck. DC falls to 3-2. They've got they have Arizona coming up next. Jesse Fritz, the $10 super chat. Charles, soothing pipes reading the numbers is a chef's delight. And you know what? Your bonus number is 1.
Oh, wow. Still not even close. Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome. At least people know that I'm not that you don't get special treatment around here. You even get suspended next week.
One bonus number all night.
We had plenty of numbers. People...
Cam Claus was not did not come to town.
The final seconds tick off, and Vancouver gets a 40-10 dominating win. From the opening moments of this game, it was Vancouver all the time. The Legion improved to 4-1, the defending champs, looking really good. Your final thoughts tonight, Charles, on an epic rout?
Yeah, epic route. Perfect execution, special teams, offense, defense. Brown had a great game, 3 touchdowns, 119 QBR. The halfbacks had a good game as well. I'm torn between giving the ball to either the offensive line or the defensive line. But based on the number of sacks, I'm gonna give the ball to everyone on that front line: Papatonis, Joseph, Farnsey, and Juicy Giudice.
And then Gaston even coming up with a sack as well at linebacker.
That's true. Yep.
What a night! What a night for Vancouver. Your final score: 40-10.
Russell got a sack too. Sorry. Did he get a sack, Russell?
Did he get a sack? Yeah, he certainly did. 7 sacks.
I blame Eddie if it's wrong.
For Vancouver tonight, signing off from VFN. We'll see you for SFL Blitz tomorrow. SFL Week 7 action starts Friday. Good night, everybody.